All right, so we've got this Get Your Custom Keto Diet excerpt. Ribeye steak with garlic butter on a diet. Okay, I'm definitely intrigued, but also more than a little skeptical. Like, is this another fad diet?
Right.
Dressed up with some, fancy food pics?
Yeah.
Or could there be something more to this whole keto craze that's out there?
Yeah, it's definitely more than bacon and butter.
Okay.
Although I'll admit those are often part of the appeal. But the core idea with keto is shifting your body's main fuel source from glucose, which it usually gets from carbs, to ketones, and those come from fat. And this metabolic switch is what supposedly unlocks all the benefits that people talk about with keto.
Okay, metabolic switch. That sounds kind of sci-fi, like we're rewiring our bodies or something. But we're really just talking about drastically reducing carbs to kind of force our bodies to burn fat for fuel.
Exactly. Our bodies love using glucose for energy. It's readily available, especially in our carb-heavy world.
Mm-hmm.
But when you dramatically reduce your carb intake, your body has no choice but to adapt. It's like switching from gasoline to electric. You become a fat-burning machine.
Wow.
And what's really wild is that even our brains, which typically run on glucose, can adapt to using ketones.
So instead of like reaching for a donut when my energy dips, my brain is running on what? Avocado oil instead. That's kind of wild. This excerpt really focuses on the whole weight loss angle of the keto diet. But you mentioned other potential benefits of this whole like ketone situation.
Absolutely. This metabolic shift has actually sparked a ton of interest in keto for everything from weight loss to even managing some health conditions. It's still an evolving area of research, but there's a lot of potential there. This excerpt, though, it does throw around some pretty bold claims. And definitely got to separate fact from fiction, especially when it comes to things like calorie deficits and the role of insulin.
Yeah, those are two topics that always seem to get people fired up in the diet world. So should we put on our science hats for a minute here and unpack those a bit before we get to all the supposed miracles of keto?
Definitely. Let's break it down and see what the science actually says.
This excerpt really dives into this whole calorie deficit thing, and they even highlight a study where a professor lost weight eating nothing but junk food. Is that even possible? It seems like they're almost glorifying an unhealthy diet.
Well, let's clarify that. This isn't exactly a green light to raid the vending machine.
Right.
The key takeaway here is the importance of a calorie deficit for weight loss. Keto, or no keto, the professor in that study, he still maintained a calorie deficit.
Yeah.
Meaning, he burned more calories than he consumed, even on junk food.
So it's just another reminder that we can't outrun or out-diet thermodynamics, I guess, right?
Oh.
Calories in versus calories out.
Precisely.
Yeah.
But, as you know, not all calories are created equal when it comes to our health and how our bodies respond. And this excerpt also dives into the dangers of severe calorie restriction, which is a good reminder that sustainable weight loss isn't about starving yourself.
Yeah, we've all tried those crash diets or know someone who has. Remember that juice cleanse I tried?
Right.
Never again.
The perfect example of why those extreme approaches backfire.
Yeah.
Because you might see some quick weight loss initially, but it's often just water weight, and it's not sustainable. Plus, drastically slashing your calories can actually mess with your metabolism.
Really?
It's like your body goes into survival mode thinking, hold on, I don't know when we're going to eat again, so I'm going to hold on to every calorie.
Wow. So instead of some quick fix, it's more about finding a sustainable way to eat that doesn't leave you feeling deprived and messing with your body's natural processes.
Exactly. Slow and steady wins the race.
I hear like that.
Now, what about this excerpt's take on insulin? They make it sound like public enemy number one when it comes to our weight loss journey.
Yeah, it's definitely painted in a pretty negative light. Should we be terrified of insulin? Is it really the enemy?
Okay, let's set the record straight. Insulin is not inherently a bad thing. It's a vital hormone. It helps your body use and store glucose for energy.
Right.
However, chronically high insulin levels, often triggered by a diet high in refined carbs and sugars, can make it harder for your body to tap into its fat stores.
So it's not that insulin is evil, it's more about finding a balance to keep it from constantly telling our bodies to store fat.
Exactly. Imagine a seesaw. When insulin is high, fat storage is favored. When insulin is low, fat burning gets a boost.
Ooh.
Keto aims to keep that insulin seesaw tipped in favor of fat burning.
Okay, that makes sense. But how does that actually work in our bodies? What's the science behind this whole insulin fat storage connection?
Think of insulin like a key that unlocks your cells, allowing glucose to enter and provide energy. But when you consume a lot of carbs, especially refined carbs and sugars, your body releases this surge of insulin to deal with that glucose influx. It's like your body is flooded with keys, trying to unlock every cell to store all that energy.
So if those cells are already full, your body's like, okay, time to store this excess energy as fat.
Precisely. It's not that carbs are the enemy, but overdoing it, especially on those refined carbs and added sugars, can lead to that constant insulin surge and potentially excess fat storage.
So balance and moderation are key no matter what you're eating. We've debunked some common diet myths about calories and insulin, but does this whole keto thing actually live up to the hype? I'm ready to hear about the science-backed benefits. Okay, so we talked about calories, we talked about insulin, two big ones in the diet world. But does keto actually deliver on its promises? This excerpt claims a whole bunch of benefits. Weight loss, especially that stubborn belly fat, increased fat burning, appetite control, even some positive effects on cholesterol. Is it legit or is it just hype?
There's definitely some promising research behind those claims, especially when it comes to, like you said, weight loss, at least in the short term. Studies have shown that people on a ketogenic diet, they tend to lose weight more quickly, especially in those initial stages compared to other diets. And yeah, some studies even suggest that keto might target belly fat specifically, which we know that's a win for metabolic health.
Yeah, targeting belly fat, that's the holy grail for a lot of people, myself included. What about those other benefits, like feeling more satisfied, ditching those cravings? Because let's be honest, those late night snack attacks can really derail a diet.
Oh, absolutely. And that's actually where keto seems to really shine for a lot of people. You see, when your body switches to burning fat for fuel, it produces ketones. And ketones, they can actually suppress appetite. It's like your body is sending signals to your brain saying, hey, we're good here, no need to eat.
Wow, so it's not just willpower, your body is actually less interested in those tempting treats. That's fascinating. What about the long game, though? This excerpt kind of makes it seem like keto is this magic bullet for everything, but I'm guessing it's not quite that simple?
You're right to be a bit cautious. While those initial results are really promising, we do need more long-term research. We need to see how keto impacts people's health and weight over years, not just weeks or months. Plus, what works for one person might not work for another.
Right. And that's where this whole custom keto thing comes in, right? This excerpt really pushes the idea of a personalized plan. Is that just a marketing tactic, or is there actual value in tailoring a keto diet to each person?
There's definitely value in personalization no matter what diet you're looking at. We all have different bodies, different goals, different lifestyles, and, let's be real, different taste preferences. One-size-fits-all approach. Tough to stick with that long term.
Oh yeah, I can relate. I've tried those generic meal plans, and I always end up craving the things I can't have.
Exactly. Restriction often backfires. And remember how the excerpt talked about food variety and all those delicious recipes? That's key. Enjoyment plays a huge role in sticking with any lifestyle change.
It's about finding a way to make keto work for you, not the other way around. No more forcing yourself into some restrictive box that just makes you miserable and craving pizza all the time.
Exactly. It's about those sustainable changes that support your needs, your goals, and who you are. We've covered a lot of ground here, the good, the potentially overhyped, the importance of personalization. What's your biggest takeaway for our listeners today?
I think it's important to approach keto, or any diet for that matter, with a critical eye. Do your research, talk to your doctor or a registered dietitian, figure out if it really aligns with your own health goals, your lifestyle.
Couldn't agree more. And remember, this excerpt focused a lot on weight loss. But keto, it has other potential applications too. Could this way of eating have benefits beyond shedding pounds? Maybe even some therapeutic uses? That's something to explore further. Always in consultation with healthcare professionals, of course.
Absolutely. Always consult with your doctor before making any major dietary changes. Well, there you have it, folks. We explored the keto diet from all angles. Knowledge is power, and now you're equipped to navigate the world of keto with a discerning eye. Until next time, happy listening.